If you are here looking for the optimal way to bring a product to market, then you've come to the wrong place. It is. I see these books and they're like, I mean, actually what came to mind just a little bit ago was, you remember the movie Back to School?
Yes.
Yeah, and they're in there trying to explain, or the professor is telling them, hey, here is how you do it, and you got Rodney Dangerfield being like, you left out of so many things, and you got to grease the politicians, then you got to pay the labor union, and the guy's like, well, I don't know how you do business, but here at wherever they were, we do it by the book. And then he's like, where should we build our factory? And Randy Dangerfield's like, Fantasyland. But yeah, so Jeff Kuiper sent us this right here. And
Gee.
I mean, guys, and this is so OG, it would not surprise me if this is not like below serial number 10. Not for sure. But this is definitely one of the OGs, and it got us thinking about, really the path that we've taken to take this and turn it into this.
And we've definitely gone through the Stone Age of pictures of 17 years of doing this so far. And found some real gems.
And yeah, it was really interesting. But yeah, I'm glad Jeff sent that. Which, by the way, if you guys are looking for control panels, Jeff Kuiper, Full Circle Automation, he makes some excellent control panels. And as I'm saying that, I'm realizing that is really horrible marketing advice, since we also build control panels. But yeah, if anything, Jeff still struggles with analog, so we'll also be able to sell more analog simulators, the more more control panel. But
we're doing this together. It's fine. It's fine. We're all here helping each other. Not only do we help technicians or help you, but
see, you need the second cup of coffee.
Not only are we helping become a better technician, but we're also helping each other become the best that we can in our...
Speaking of which, look who's right in the chat. There's Jeff Kuiper. Good to see you. Hey, good to see you. There. Hey, all right. Talk about working together to make each other better. I can't talk. But yeah, there's Vlad, Solus PLC. I mean, and Vlad puts out excellent videos.
And our favorite, Hank.
Yep.
Hey.
How's it going? And when it gets stupid, communications is much easier. And see, that's why we can still sell these. So buy a panel from Jeff so we can sell you analog simulators.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh. I did get to eat my Girl Scout cookies this time. The tag-alongs are my favorite, if you didn't know.
By the way, so the 2 boxes that he had, it's all his, and then Mary Bruce and I have gone through the lemon cookies because he doesn't like lemon. So
yeah. Hey, Laura, good to see you again. Hey, Brandon. Hey, that's really Christmas. But yeah, okay. So when it comes to making a product, I have failed miserably, guys, at probably more products than Amber will want to list off right now. And, there's the first key to it, is you got to be willing to fail. And I see a lot of people out there that are working on making the perfect product. Now, guys, this compared to this, I mean, they are the difference between night and day, but we could not build this product right off the bat. So you do have to start somewhere. But the one thing we did get right with this one, and I think this is the next thing that a lot of people get wrong, is a lot of people take their solution and go trying to find a problem for it. And you can't do that. In this case, we saw a problem and developed a solution for it. And you do have to go in that order. Now, the next thing is we did not know absolutely how to find our target market. So here's how I know. This one right here doesn't have our website on it. So I know at this moment, we were selling this. We didn't have a website. I mean, we were passing around PayPal links, dropping things.
We were. Oh, my gosh.
We
actually were taking checks.
Ooh.
What is that? What are chunks?
Oh, that was a while ago. But yeah, I mean, it was different. We didn't know how to find our target market, which is funny. We were just talking about that with another group. Well, the manufacturing champs, you've seen me posting about them. And that's, I keep coming back to that. I'm terrified to do a video on finding your target market, but I swear, I'm not sure that shouldn't be a next series.
We should, because I think we should. I think it's important because we went through the process, and I think it is time for others to get the knowledge that's oozing out of our ears.
But yeah, so we built this, and it was a total flop. I mean, really, yeah. But it wasn't a flop. It was a great idea. I was not a marketer, though, and that was problem number one. It does take a whole team. But hey, it does work.
So I was a marketer, but I didn't understand the product at the time. Remember that?
Yeah.
So I was kind of like in the unknown zone. Unknown zone. That should be a T-shirt.
But yeah, and the display is dull on this one, so I don't even think you're gonna be able to see it. Let's see. Can you see that? Oh, dear, it is getting faded, but yeah. Still, we go down to read unknown IP. I know. But yeah, it still works. So this right here just discovered that Compact Logic's PLC. It's 192, 168, 191. And obviously, yeah, I mean, here's today's. I could probably even hold it back here. And you realize what it is, yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's today. Oh, I turned autofocus off, so we'll be able to get you a great picture. But it gives you the MAC and the IP, which is the same thing it did. But then now we give the model and some other stuff.
Great LED screen. Great. Great.
But even there, here's where you got to listen to your customers. So we got people calling us on this one. And if I just plug in, instead of plugging right into this Compact Logic, so I'm going to plug into an Ethernet switch. And this is what people were doing. And this was designed, it even said in the instructions, plug directly in the device. But if you plug in, and yeah, you guys will not be able to read it, but if we go back and do read unknown again, in fact, you may be able to see it because it's going to be swirling through them. Swirly, whatever you call it. But it's actually cycling through IPs and just fast as it can. And so somebody's like, hey, could you slow down that list? We can't really read it. And I'm like, well, it's not designed to plug directly into a device. I mean, into a network switch. You're supposed to plug in a device. And they're like, yeah, but this works. And they're like, we take our cell phone and we take a video of it and then we play it back in slow motion. And that's how we find out all the IPs on the network.
Right.
And so it was like, oh, well, could we make, this one do that?
Instead of saying cycling through power, cycling through something, we should call it swirling.
Swirl. The words are difficult, guys.
Words are hard.
Mary Bruce isn't here. We don't have her encyclopedia or thesaurus, whatever we call her. Yeah, so.
I know. She is. She's our encyclopedia, dictionary, all the things person. I'll try to muster up, Mary. I'll try to get it together. Well, we have some chats.
We do.
So, Kyle, hello, Tim and Amber. Hey, Kyle, good to see you.
Please suggest me a cheap and best ferrule printer.
Well,
I don't know what a ferrule printer is. You mean a crimper?
Yeah.
Not sure if you mean, but yeah, we got a bunch of videos on different crimpers, and yeah, just check those out, or just Google the Tool Fox. She's been doing them with us, and yeah, it's been really helpful. Yeah, and Alfredo, you're right there. You got to start somewhere. And actually, early on, Jeff, not Jeff Kuiper, just Jeff. He asked what happened to the thermocouple. We had a thermocouple prototype, and there's a good example. I mean, we tried it. I even kind of dropped some videos about our idea, and then we couldn't make it work. And that's okay. Part of making devices is utterly failing at them. But I did find some pictures. So
if you guys ever watch Project Runway, the guy, what's his name? That's with Heidi Klum. He always leaves the room and he says, make it work.
Well, sometimes we don't make it work. But guys, here is I believe, our original prototype of the IP Explorer. It didn't have any buttons yet. So we had we had this device, and this actually does everything the IP Explorer would do. Only it was really clunky, you know.
But that says it's called IP Express.
Yes. Yes. And so this one was a smoother form factor. And didn't have the buttons or anything like that yet. So that's another picture of it. Oh yeah, I mean there's our elegant manual. We were still working on it. I believe this is the prototype manual. And there was the original IP Express. And guys, here may be the most proud picture I've found. Here is the PLC Tools stock bin way back when. And there is our 2 IP Explorers right there. And yeah, we have 10 ALP2s.
Totally different now.
Yeah, and I mean, but that's where we really had to. You have to start somewhere, and yeah,
That's our living room floor.
No, that was the hall.
Is that the hall?
That's the hall. Remember when we had at the back of the hall, and you go back there and
yep, we did.
Yeah,
I remember now. So yes, we got started at our kitchen table. Oh, if only we had hidden cameras. And you could see all the gates that we had up in the house to keep the babies contained in one area.
Let's see, Josh. Who knows where words come from? Oh, hey! All right, Amber. What is this you brought with you anyway? Words. Talking about words, since you're speaking of words.
Oh, this? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, can I tell them what today is?
I mean, there's no way for them to know if you don't tell them or you don't put it in the picture, they have no idea what you're talking about.
Today is Pie Day.
It's Pie Day.
So I got Tim and I individual pies. But where does Pie Day come from?
Well, and honestly, I have a theory of where Pie Day came from. Because I know there's a lot of smart people that made history stuff that talk about how it came. But Aaron Prather just threw me for a total loop, because I get it. 314, 3.14, that is Pi Day. But if you look at 3.14 in the mirror, it spells pi. I didn't know that. So yeah, William Jones was the first person to call it pi back in 1706. And I really think he realized the 3.14. And what do we do after we always make a cool discovery now? We take a selfie. So I think in 1706, he leaned back and he went to take a selfie, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, that spells pie. And that's what I'm going to call it. So I believe that's how we came up with the name pie.
Yeah. So we're going to eat this pie in a little bit.
Yes.
After all the coffee we've had and the hamburgers at lunch. It's a cheat day, sort of.
Yes.
We should have pizza for lunch today, because that's a pie.
Oh, man.
Why didn't we think about that?
Well, we got a pizza. Oh, we can't have pizza for dinner. It's Taco Tuesday.
I know, and we had pizza yesterday. So we're kind of like getting in the mood for it.
Hey, Jeff, that might be before there was AC at the house. I'm not sure when that is, but yeah, it was definitely before AC at the shop. That was way early on. Let's see. A ferrule printer widely used in preparation of self-service. Oh, do you mean a wire label? A label machine? A label maker?
Oh.
Yeah, we did a video on that. Man, we ought to have like somebody armed and ready to drop links. Because, yeah.
Yeah, like you.
Like me. Oh, that should be my job since I have the keyboard over here. Got you.
Right.
But yeah.
I don't have a keyboard.
Let's see. Here's one, though, that Amy did with us on choosing the right industrial label maker. So check this one out. And yeah, see if that helps you out. What? All right. Let's see. Hey, there's Mary Bruce. Hey, CK Nolan. All right, where were we though? Before we went off on
we're talking about the OG,
yeah,
and how we got started with it, and how it's come back around to being amazing. And
now let's come back around to being amazing. I mean that was some good suggestive marketing.
I mean, I turned it off.
But okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. Is first.
So pretty. And look, it fits in your hand. You have a picture, though, of one that was in your hand.
Yeah.
That will, look, so that tells you the size difference for sure.
Yeah, well, and yeah, but this was the predecessor of getting it down to that nice sleek thing. And we had to start there though. And that's what I say, you got to start with,
Something.
yeah. And then, I tell people all the time when they're talking about videos is, you got to start by hitting the record button. Well, the same thing. We got to start by building something, even if it is just the most horrible device. Oh, well, this device was awesome. Now, there are a couple things though. So yeah, talking about going back to this device, is it was great. But yeah, the biggest issue is I didn't know how to market it, and the demand for it had not taken off yet, because there were some Ethernet enabled devices, but now everything's Ethernet enabled. So, I mean, the first thing you got to do when you go to a network is you got to figure out what the IPs are. And used to, it was a little more of, just had to set it initially. But, so yeah, I did not know how to, well, I didn't know how to make videos yet. I guess I was making videos.
I was thinking like that really didn't take off until you.
I never made a video on this.
Yeah, but you started with the ALP2, and then you started making videos about what we call now the IPEs, the IP Explorers.
Yeah, well, but that was that one. I never did. Yeah. So there you go, guys. Marketing 101. Hit the record button and let people know what you got.
Yeah, don't even just hit record. Just hit record. You don't need a plan. Just hit record and talk.
Yeah, but yes, and listen to your audience. But probably also the big thing is you're going to have to find strong partners, and we have along the way, because obviously there's only three of us in the end, and there's two ways to do this. You can either scale up, and there's people talking about, well, yeah, I don't even know, all those classes of funding and all that where they're trying to grow a conglomerate. That's not us. So that's not a lot of small businesses, I think. And I think that's what, when you look at the how-to books and everything, that's what they're looking at is, how do you scale some ridiculous thing? But, we had to find partners. I mean, and hey, we got a couple of them in the chat. I mean, Jeff Kuiper has been, a partner for well over a decade. I
feel like he's our brother.
Yeah, he is family. There's no doubt about that. And yeah, but I mean, you'll find, I think we worry too much about trying to hold back and have this competitive edge. Well, good advice on finding partners, Vlad. What was the process for you? Ooh, that is an excellent. Now you've got some advice to share with that thing, because you also have a partner.
I was going to say that.
And you will. No, let's be serious, guys. You're going to find there's some bad people out there.
That's when you need to have a wife like Amber who reading skills.
No, it's not a matter of that. You're going to find that, there are people that are out there to try to mostly make a living for themselves. But occasionally you'll find that person that, genuinely cares. I mean, genuinely cares about you, cares about the partnership.
Has the same passions.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't think we built this first device and never even thought about what
was coming after, I guess.
What how I think Jeff probably could attest to this, because we've thrown some ideas around. I'm always like, let's figure out how to do it. Then we'll worry about making money.
That's
It kind of drives Amber slightly insane sometimes. But it really is when you find those people that really, okay, hey, I have this idea and I can't do it on my own. And, can you have this particular skill, can we work together on it? And they don't say, well, what's in it for me? And, we have some great partners on these, and, that's never even been a question. I mean, that's the first thing, is finding those genuine friends. Friends not the right word, because
creators, partners.
You become friends later. And Jeff, I do consider you a great friend. But yeah, we've worked together beforehand, and yes, so finding those people though, it is difficult, Vlad. There's no doubt about that.
And also, you have to find those people that are in it for the same reason you are. Like he said, it's not about we'll figure it out now and possibly make money later. But at the point we're at now, it's really about just kind of helping each other out to make it through this industry.
Yeah. And, but where do you find them? I mean, honestly, we found them. Actually, I think we found all of them on social media. I know, and you can read a lot into somebody by what they're doing on social media, and that's why I tell people all the time, watch what you post on social media, because what you post could easily, you could offend who could be your potential partner. And I was horrible about the guys. I mean, I'm preaching from experience here. I was horrible about keeping my mouth shut early on. I mean, I was definitely opinionated, and definitely early on trying to make a name for myself, and that's probably,
Yeah.
you can never erase your social media.
Yeah.
But and really, somebody called me out on it early on, and all of a sudden I was like, oh man, I do have to watch what I say.
Yeah.
And but when you see that person that's constantly trying to help somebody, chances are they're a pretty good person. Yeah, Jeff, it probably, 2008. 2000, oh, here goes Amber. Got to know the exact dates.
I do.
The keeper of time.
I am the keeper of time. Unfortunately.
Oh.
I can remember dates. I mean, I can remember I can remember some dates, but like the COVID years, like the pandemic years, like I said in my podcast earlier today.
You had a podcast?
I had a podcast, yes.
You did?
Confessions of a Reluctant Caregiver.
Okay. What was that about? Or do you want to share it, or do you want to just drop a link?
We should drop a link while I share.
I will try to find a link, guys.
So I talked about my journey of taking care of my mom, who was on our 4th round of metastatic breast cancer, and it came up December 2020, and then we started the process in 2021 of getting her better and trying to figure out what we needed to do to help her out. But so I have a friend, a really sweet friend, Natalie, that I'm in Rotary with, and she is also a caregiver of her husband who had cancer. And so her and her sisters put together a podcast and asked me to be their guest. So I had it. So going back, is we were talking on the podcast, the pandemic years are, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but the pandemic years to me are like lost. So anybody who says, oh, that was back in 2020, 21, I'm like, what? So I get lost in those years, but I do remember when that AC was put in.
Yes. It was an awesome time.
It was an awesome time.
Later, looking back a decade later,
yeah,
we appreciate all of it. We appreciate all of the lessons of life.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and there's the thing, and that's kind of what I want to get across is, it will not be a clear path. And, honestly, that part will even get stuck over here for a long time. And it's like, you got to keep, trying. And then you also got to realize when all of a sudden, this ain't going to work out, toss it. And
we've tossed a lot.
Yeah, yes.
Quite a bit.
I guarantee you I fail for at least 50 times for every one good idea I have.
Felt hard.
Yes, and that's probably a kind of golden ratio.
I think if anything, being in business with you or in this industry is accepting failure. Mm-hmm. It's okay. And it's actually good. It's
good.
It's a good learning experience.
Yes. I mean, there's a sign on the wall right here in the training center. If you're not making mistakes and you're not trying hard enough.
Yep. And that was a hard lesson for me to learn when I started with you, because I was, coming from a different business world where mistakes you could not make.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like you were in some nuclear.
I know. It was like marketing, but still.
I mean, realistically, if you don't make some mistakes in marketing, the chances are you're just going the easy path.
And I mean, we can't count how many times mistakes were made just trying to get to the perfect.
Well, it's not. Actually, I was getting ready to say that this is not perfect, guys.
I know. There's still so much more we could do.
I mean, guys, and I'm going to let you in on a secret for those of you who haven't. I know Josh Vargas has seen this. We just rearranged this entire menu structure. Man, I'm not going to change the autofocus. But this whole, we did. We got rethinking it. We're like, we keep adding, and that's what sometimes you have to do. It's like we keep adding features, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, is this thing still the easiest thing to use? And so part of it is we've always been improving it. So don't ever be satisfied with the device, because if you ever get just satisfied, then chances are somebody's going to
do it better.
Yeah, do it better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's happened to us too. And I think you're right. Failure is always an option. All right, all right, Vlad. How was the product validation progress? Well, all right, man. I mean, yeah, you're using engineering terms. You know me. I throw it up the wall and saw it stuck, and when it fell on the floor, I swept it up, and we tried again. Like,
Oh my gosh, hands you can throw on the wall and they would stick.
but how many I mean, realistically, did you give them to potential customers? Yeah, well, we sent a few out, and then you go back to marketing. We did send a few out to people, hoping that they would say something about them, and it was a different world. And you didn't have YouTube was not the place it is now, and LinkedIn wasn't the place. LinkedIn hardly existed then, and but really, the first ones, they were just circuit boards. We were just trying to work out ideas, and I actually in the LP2 especially, the original one, it was just a test internally, in-house stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, can we make this? Is this something someone needs? And there's a key question I keep going back to on these. Is it something someone needs? But let's see, what's this? What else did you say there? Anything I do differently? Man, honestly, and Vlad, this came up so much in the manufacturing champion saying, and I wish he had been there, but yeah, he will make the next one. Buddy, I'm looking forward to talking to you. But imposter syndrome, that was probably, are we really manufacturers? I mean, we're a small business working out of our house. Glad you're in your basement. And then the rest of you, probably half of you guys are probably in some similar thing. Is like, I mean, can we really call this a real device? Or if you're building it in your, garage? Well, absolutely you can. Doesn't matter where it's built. And that was probably the biggest challenge. I should have been, bolder about getting it out there and sharing about it. Beyond that, only regret I've ever had in anything is not starting earlier. Oh, I got to laugh from Amber. Who knows what she's getting ready to think?
I don't know what I'm thinking. Let's go to the comments. So Got McBride. Yep, face it. We are all prima donnas, and it's a good thing when you're taking.
Oh yeah, that's about me. Trying to. I think everybody starts out that way, and that's why I think I have tremendous respect for. Well, hopefully who I'm becoming, but for the veterans that were in the group, when I say group, the community then, because, I was definitely a lot rougher around the edges then, and many of them were patient with me, and,
True.
They didn't really call me out for the most part, but they kept a lifeline out there. That way when I finally, got my act together, they could kind of get me on the right path. Yeah.
Surplus Automation Supply. Congratulations, Tim and Amber, on all your success. It's great to see real down-to-earth people that take the time to educate others. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes we have our days where we're like, are we doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Is this what we're really supposed to do? But it is. I mean.
Well, and you're right, because really, even now, it's like, I woke up this morning, I'm like, why are we talking about products? We're not.
I know. I thought about that too.
Product manufacturing expert.
But it's like you and I say all the time, when you're anxious or you're doubting yourself, then it means you're supposed to do it.
Yeah. You're right there. And it is something I think we have. I think anyway, you going back to when do you know what do you regret? What do you when you know it's right? I'm very proud of this.
Yes.
I think, all of us are. We're really proud of what we've made.
I'm really proud of the stickers on the back. Gosh, those are beautiful.
Everybody, the sticker on the back is more important than the actual function of the device. If you did not know.
Kidding.
There's also a battery sticker on the inside. Oriented correctly.
Mary, sticker queen.
Yeah, Mary Bruce and I were fired from stickering because
they do it crooked.
It looks perfectly straight to me, but Amber swears. I mean, if it's like 2 microns off, it's crooked.
Now, see, this is where my background in marketing is a good fit because you couldn't make a mistake.
Well,
Be precise.
and here you got to be compromising in business because I still think my sticker's perfectly fine, but there's a point I just say, okay, Amber, you can be the sticker queen, and Mary Bruce and I will work on the inside.
So back to the comments. Jeff Kuiper says Ron Buford called me out privately on a few posts and helped me become humble. That's the man to make you humble, I'll tell you.
And Ron was a good example, and I think Jeff, you and I, unfortunately, we're becoming part of the older that we've got to, do that. But Ron was definitely one too. I mean, he saw something in us, and I mean, I think one of our partners on this. I look back and I'm like, why did he? Why did he? Well, yeah, and it's like, but I guess he saw something, in that little bit of age, Ron was definitely a good lifeline for a lot of us, and he still is. I still have lots of conversations with Ron. He's enjoying fishing, but he still keeps a little bit of an eye on the industry.
Got him on a good, healthy diet.
Yeah.
Kyle says, I ran my business for nearly 3 years out of my garage. I felt the same way at first. Am I for real? Once I referred to it as my shop when talking to clients, I started feeling legit. I totally agree with you because when we would talk to people and say, oh, yeah, we run the business out of our house, and then we started calling it, oh, we have a shop. I think it got...
It felt really awkward calling it the shop, though.
Yeah,
even remember we called it the building. Mm-hmm. It was like, this isn't really our shop.
You're at the building,
It's a building. I'll see you at the building. Because it's like, we don't have a shop. It doesn't have a company sign on the front of it. We don't have a forklift running around in here. I mean,
cool gadgets in there, but...
Yeah, but especially early on, I think, not everybody knows this. We started out in, a little shed, and we had a trouble light hung in the middle of it, and that's what we built panels by, was a trouble light.
And no heat.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no heat or no air conditioning. So can you call all that a business? And now I look back, and I tell people this, and it's about time for another rant on this one, Amber, but I get so tired of people saying they have a side hustle. Oh, I got a little side hustle I've been working on. I'm like,
business.
And they're like, well, I don't know when you call it a business. And I'm like, do you have a business license? Do you have a federal ID number? They're like, yeah. Like, you have a business then. Mm-hmm. But it is. I think we think that you got to have it just like they show in the, I was going to say TV, but that's not really the word I'm looking for. Where do you see this stuff at? Oh, on LinkedIn, places like that. Yeah. You see, people have these really nice, manufacturing facilities. I got a tour, a really good one. I haven't shared a lot of that with you. Yeah, Mission was an awesome tour.
I think I've heard about it from Up and Wyatt.
Oh, is Ann on?
I'm still processing the imposter syndrome thing. It's just me over here running the business, making content, trying to lead by as much as an example as I can. Honey, you're doing a great job, okay?
I mean, and Ann was rambling, and we got to get back together. Ann was rambling information off of me that I had no idea. And here's where, all right, there's a partnership there. Ann's talking about how much it costs to hire a bad employee. And she's like, I just didn't even think about how much it costs. But do you know how you can make a bad employee a good employee? Maybe. Training. And I'm like, oh, there we go. We got a partner. But yeah, and that's where we have to find those things and, find those partnerships.
And she said also the stickers rule. Thank you.
Thank you. But yes, someone's got to have a single person's. I know, man.
About the stickers when you guys went out town.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you and Amber would get along great.
I
promise you both would drive me insane.
So I'll tell you a quick little story or rant about having a good eye for design. So, we volunteer with Rotary, and I did public image for 6 years with them, and they changed their rotary wheel They updated it. So some folks are still using the old rotary wheel, and my friend Leslie and I, who was also in Public Image, every time we see the old rotary wheel, we're like, it's the old rotary wheel. Well, I started looking at our stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, they're all open.
Okay, so since Vlad is on here and Amber is on here, yeah, it's time for me to tell a story. And yes, it's time for me to call Amber out on a little something too. And so yes, I really did not like our company logo. And I kept telling Amber, I'm like, I think I just want to do the TW. And she's like, that's not consistent. You got to stay within your branding. I'm like, I get that, but I don't want a shirt that has it on it. So this doesn't work. So I'm getting on Dave and Vlad's podcast, Manufacturing Hub. Go ahead and drop a link there, Vlad. And yeah, I went ahead and printed this shirt without Amber's permission. And I've got this shirt on, and Amber's there. And Dave Griffith's like, hey, Tim, I really like that shirt. Vlad's like, well, that's not the company logo. And Amber's sitting right there. She's like, I told you so. But okay. What does TW stand for again?
Tech women.
Now, I don't think that's consistent, because whether you say it is Tim Wilborne or the Wilbornes, it does not stand for tech women.
I mean, talk about imposter syndrome or really not, or some kind of syndrome.
Well, that's not consistent branding.
But I mean, we're getting there. We're throwing around a lot of ideas, and I'm talking about what's on our trainers is the bubble TW, and it
was meant to be 2 buttons originally. And
I know, but it's got to go.
Okay, well, I get that, but it's going to take a while to get that changed all out.
All right.
Okay. Where's that title rant? Where are we at? Let's see. Hey, go for it.
I used to put stickers on Crooked just to drive the sales manager crazy. I used to have a guy that worked for me that did that. Hey, Gail. Catching up on replay. Tim is the best and love the yin and yang with Amber. Thanks, babe. Yeah. Oh, Ann.
All right, Ann, you gotta, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, we act like everybody should know these things. Ann puts out a calculator, starts throwing me all these numbers at me, and it comes to $25,000 to $30,000, and I'm like, I had no idea. I mean,
for a bad hire, yeah.
For a bad hire. I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I don't even still quite understand all the numbers she threw at me, but she knew them, and it's like, she's just like, I thought everybody knew that. I'm like, no, Ann, you gotta teach us that.
Vlad. Actually, I've also been banned from design. That's good, though. That's good.
Oh, the old puzzle piece. Yeah. Originally, yeah, we were the missing piece to your puzzle. That was
That's
original.
Our original. That's how we got started.
I forgot. Man, Jeff got a good memory, because I had forgotten about that completely. But yeah, now helping make you a better technician. And yeah, I forgot that though. Man, I forgot. I don't even remember
if we have anything.
Man, I don't even know if I have the original puzzle piece. Take it away. Let me see what
Good afternoon, Andre. Hey, Mary. I do not want to imagine learning about communication without that device. True that, girl. True that. And I think a lot of people in, I keep saying our industry, our circle, I guess, feel the same way, because it's really the comments and feedback we get from both devices, the ALP2 and the IPE, is, positive. This helps me with da-da-da. It got me through such and such quicker. Our students get to use them when they're here during training weeks. And, but there's room for improvement always. You never know. That thing might end up being the size of a...
All right, I'm not finding a puzzle piece, but yeah, it was a baby blue puzzle piece. Jeff, you got one?
Yeah. We can't find it.
Wait. I should have it on a panel. Yes. What is that? I got to think of an OG customer. I got it. Keep taking it away, Amber. You got this.
Should I do a song and dance?
I completely forgotten.
Yes, Gail, I agree. So because we do listen to our customers, even during their rants of frustration, that's the reason why a lot of our things a lot of our here I go again. Our products are better, and how we got to training and a lot of things. I mean, we didn't come up with these ideas on our own. A lot of it is based on customer feedback, follower feedback, video watcher feedback.
Video watcher.
Video watcher. What else would you call it?
Video watcher. You know, guys, make sure you do good branding on your panels, because as I'm looking through my old ones, I've gone back too far. We didn't used to have our name on our panel. It's like, okay, you know,
I wish.
go for the really easy branding. I mean, you got a control panel stuck out there. Yeah, put your name on it.
I have a Crimson program with it.
Yeah, but I don't have the software on this one.
Oh.
Oh, wait, this one does have it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, we're not going to find a picture of that. We'll just keep getting it.
We'll post it later. I'll be like,
We'll have to do it, because you're right. We had the puzzle piece.
Then we went to the bubbles.
Oh no, we had something in between the puzzle piece and the bubbles.
Oh, we just had it was I think it was actually wasn't it
It may have been close to this.
yeah.
And then we got
and then
yeah. And I think it was just this and the controls right
Yeah.
beside it, almost like your arm there is.
it was.
And then then we went to the buttons, and yeah. And I don't know, I never liked it. So yeah.
Liked it. I mean, I like that we're on a darker blue color. Anyway, we are
You get really off topic.
it takes a lot of time to get everything consistent, because I'm sitting here right now looking at things. Y'all can see I'm looking in another direction. I'm like, oh my God, that's our old logo.
Well, there, actually, this probably is right on target, is, consistent branding.
Mm-hmm.
It does need, it needs to be recognizable, if it's, if you're kind of bouncing back and forth. But I don't know, I wouldn't call it bouncing back and forth that we've had 3 logos in 17 years. But, we have had to, upgrade our branding a little bit. But yeah, that consistent branding is probably something that small businesses miss. So, okay, that is a good example. Oh my God, what is that on?
That's on Instagram.
Okay, well, our Instagram page needs upgraded. Yep, move on in there. There it is.
Thank you, Mary Bruce.
All right, yeah, put that on the list to fix. But yeah, if I go back, man, let me open that page back up. Here's a good example of a major misbranding opportunity. If I can get back there. Take it away, Amber.
This is really Mary Bruce. Coffee.
Well, you ought to be able to take this. Oh, man, I just found it. There's a vectorized logo.
Oh, see?
But,
that's why we need Mary. Mary.
Oh my God, what a blurry picture. Guys, back in the day when we didn't realize we were going to be posting pictures. There's but yeah, there's no
nothing.
There's no logo or anything.
Contact us.
Oh, and I did get a lead one time on a very good job. I made a really small part of a job, and the company that sold it to them put no branding on it. And so I got a call one day, and they're like, hey, we need you to come in and look at, this project. I'm like, okay. And I walk in there, and they're like, yeah, we want to make this modification, do this. I'm just like, okay. Did you contact the people who built it? I'm like, well, I don't know. Your number was the only thing that's up there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't miss those opportunities.
Well, I went through all the comments.
Nobody's
commenting.
Nobody's commenting?
No.
Okay.
I don't have anybody to talk to.
Nobody out there wants to talk to Amber? I mean, really, guys? You're breaking her heart over here. She's going to be stuck talking to me the rest of the day. Come on, Gail, help her out. But no, going here, so it's very difficult for us to stay on task.
Mm-hmm.
But going back, even Vlad asked some of this is, even obviously part of why these are 2 different sizes is we didn't know how to cram components down. There were a lot of things we had to learn. And Vlad, you're going to be guilty of it. I know you want to build the perfect the perfect device, and you're not going to start off there. Even man, feel the weight difference.
I know, because when I picked it up yesterday, I was like, good night.
Breaking our hand in.
Also, like, our customers want to be able to slip it into a backpack.
Right.
This takes up a lot. I mean, look at the. Hello.
But what you do, you have to start somewhere, and you do have to make something you can be proud of. Because if you're like,
it reminds me of that old football game. Do you remember when we had it as kids, where you had the buttons and you could? That's what it reminds me of. Sorry, got off subject again.
No, that's good. What's Vlad saying there?
He said, "I'll throw another question at both of you." Any products you're working on now that you can share with us? Do you have any interesting ideas?
I do. I've got a couple. One, I'm probably going to reach out to you a little bit on. We are looking at playing with some Siemens trainers. So yeah, I will probably reach out to you about that. My favorite trainer right now is this one over here. My computer's in the way, but yeah, there we go. This one here has the linear actuator, HMI, and yeah, I'm looking at adding some third-party stuff. What are you doing?
I was saying hi to everybody again. Did you cut me out?
Oh my goodness! Well, I had to bring it over, and then I'm working on an IO Link trainer, and that one, I tell you one thing, that's something that is really becoming interesting. We added IO Link to our machine trainer, and the students have really shown a big interest in it, and all of a sudden they're like, oh. Well, I just realized that's how they're doing that. Like, we had one the other week. They're like, yeah, I know that I can take this one sensor and we plug it in anywhere and it starts working. Sometimes it's measuring a distance. Sometimes it's light mode, dark mode. But we just know to plug it in. I'm like, yeah, that's IO Link. So that's we're working on some ideas for some IO Link trainers. And we're working on a sensor trainer. It's a little rocky right now, but
so sensitive. I just don't understand.
Well, I mean, it takes too much time to build right now. So,
Hank says, I like the cases they come with. Great protection when bouncing around in my backpack. So tell them how you came up with the case.
Well, all right. And here this is a good one. Hank, it just reminded me. As you grow, especially a small product, you're going to constantly run into delivery issues. I know we're all in a part shortage right now, but it's a constant issue on a smaller thing because, you're not a big company. You can't be like, hey, I need to get a contract with you to make 100,000 of something. You were buying just a few here and a few there. So the original case, we don't have a case.
I'll just go get one.
No, that's all right.
Okay.
Because people were complaining, really, they were busting the screens out of them, and they're like, I need something to put it in. And so it was originally I believe it was a Garmin GPS case, is what it started out as. And yeah, we would buy 10 of them, and the person was happy. And then we got to buying 20 of them, and then we got to buying 30 of them, and we got to buying 50 of them. And finally, the guy reached out to us. He said, "Don't buy from us anymore." I'm like, "What?" He's like, yeah, you're clearing out all my stock, and I'm really not. I don't want to sell that many. I'm like, oh my gosh, So all of a sudden, we're on the hunt to find, these cases, and then next thing we're having to learn to deal with people that sew. I'm like, I don't know anything about sewing, but yeah, so we ended up, finding somebody to make a custom case, but then. All of a sudden, we had to buy 4,000 of them, and we were used to buying 100 of them. And so you're constantly dealing with that back and forth. Same with our leads. All this, it was the same deal. We were buying a few here and a few there, and all of a sudden, people were like, "You're buying too many leads." I'm like, "How can I buy too many of something? I didn't know that was possible."
Because we didn't include leads with the ALP2 or the Ethernet cable.
No,
with
not
IPE.
initially.
Yeah.
And people can, there's where you got to listen to people. You want to make it as pain-free as possible.
Like Gail said.
People, they pulled the IPE. Well, that's great, but I didn't bring an Ethernet cable with me.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, whoops. So yeah, and then
you learn from your customers. You really do.
And it never goes away. Honestly, okay, hopefully it doesn't offend somebody, but the IPs are shipping with blue leads right now because, of all the things, there is a shortage of black Ethernet cables right now. So,
I like the blue Ethernet cables. I think they're cool. But
yes.
what's my favorite color?
Well, mainly, who always is preaching to me, we got to be consistent.
Me.
That's right.
But you kind of have to curve around that sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think that's happened the whole time is, scaling up, finding all of a sudden, being out of displays and, you modify your design for some other component. It's a constant, you would love to say, oh, once you have the design perfect, it just goes on. But yeah, there's always something that there's a battle with as you, scale something up.
Mm-hmm.
What we got over there, Amber?
Jay Ashton. Hi, Tim. Great show. Good job, Tim.
Well, and also, yeah, thank you for, he got spotted on his pack out.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I use a ton of IO link in my designs, less IP addresses to assign. Bailiff shielded is what I use for Ethernet cables.
Why are the Ethernet cables teal? Because isn't that color?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's blue, tealish. It's like this color. It's this color.
Why are the ones that have the little, here you go, was it an M12? The M12 Ethernet? Why are they all teal? Is that some standard or is that just the only thing available? Or why are they teal? Because I just asked Amber that earlier.
Oh, yeah, because you had...
That moved them over there so they wouldn't get in the way.
Those are teal. You're right. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that's a particular brand. But anyway, where were we?
Can also get red.
You can
Talking about
red makes Amber angry.
It's like a bowl. I'm a bowl in a china shop. We were talking about the cases and including Ethernet cables and leads.
Well, yeah, and you do have to find those little things that just make it a little bit easier. And then once we, even rethinking where all of a sudden it's like, oh, we should rethink, what are people normally doing and how can we smooth it up just a little bit more, but always try to improve, and I'm glad you asked because, I'm always, what is that next device? Mm-hmm. And yeah, honestly, I think this one over here, I won't move the camera again, Amber, but.
You can.
No, that's okay. I won't do it.
It's fine.
Yeah, you can go back in the video, but yeah, there's, I believe that'll be our next really good one because really it has HMI. Obviously it has a PLC. It has HMI. It has a drive. And then we have third-party integration with the Yamaha linear actuator. And really with that, you can almost learn anything, which is kind of cool. And
Vlad, I think you and Tim are very similar. I think he's always thinking of the next thing, especially in his sleep, because you can see his eyes going everywhere. But I think, both of you are, and many of us are always thinking about, like, you can't just stop and be satisfied with one thing because there's always a way to either make it better or to add to it or to come up with something else that can, tie into it. So I think, we're always working on something new. Yeah, and kind of going back to Jeff, the first Jeff, JEF's comment, even as far as ALP2, I mean, this, we'd still love to do the thermocouple version. It is something we get requests for very often. But you also got to know when to draw the line. And it's like, okay, we could make that work, but we weren't able to make that work, I think, to the level of quality we wanted. There are some out there, and they do okay. But we're not really happy with okay usually. No. No. So Vlad said, it seems that people either really like IO-Link or don't care much about it. I'm really curious how the industry moves forward on it. Us too. Yeah. Well, I can't give a lot of I don't like to give a lot of details about machine trainers. Not that I want super top secret, but we may have a potential student here. So we'd like them to come in unfamiliar. But yeah, we added some to it. And I'm really impressed with what you can do with a few wires. Mm-hmm. And that's the main thing is, when all of a sudden I can take one, like a stack light. We got a banner stack light that I was playing with, one wire, and we got 16 million colors. I don't know what I do with 16 million colors, but I made a really cool variable lava lamp with it. You did? Yes. Lava lamp is a good term for it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So there's a lot of things you can do, a lot of data you can get, a lot of troubleshooting you can get, and that's probably talking to going back to what are the next trainer ideas. I see that part where showing that a sensor can be blocked and you can know that it's getting blocked instead of all of a sudden just not working. So I mean, there's where there's a lot of new potential with that. See, yeah, just like the iPhone, you got to always be, what is something we can do a little better with it, and what is that next problem that needs solved, or
Doesn't Vanilla Ice say something in Ice Ice Baby like something about a problem? If you got a problem, I'll solve it.
yes,
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
is that Amber's always got a song for it.
I am a book of music, lyrics, and artists.
Yeah, the sweep and step cycle and there's a good example. We got a processor in here. Sometimes it's like, okay, it's cool that I can run my value up. Oh man, I should turn the autofocus off.
It's okay.
We can manually do that, but yeah, you can hit the OK button on your ALP2, and yeah, you get options. And yeah, we can have a sweep cycle. And y'all probably already found this, but also while you're doing this, you can hit the up arrow and look at there, you get a fancy graph that it runs up. So
fancy.
But all of a sudden, and it didn't take obviously it took thought to do this, but now if somebody's doing the simulation and all of a sudden they're like, oh wait, that didn't work, they can at least look back and be like, oh, that must be where that happened. So yeah. What does that say? Human jukebox. Yes, Mary Bruce, yes. Pop culture queen.
Well, yeah. And you shouldn't put movies in front of me that are about music, like just not telling you to watch Amazon Prime, but I went down a huge rabbit hole after watching the first 6 episodes of Daisy Jones and the Six, because I was like, Mirrors Fleetwood? I'm pretty sure. Anyway, yeah, I'm a human jukebox. I love music.
Yeah.
Let's see. You can look down, lock down port parameters in IO-Link so that a replacement sensor has to be the exact match at the original.
Yeah, and I haven't learned any of that yet.
Really?
I'm in the very early learning stage of it. Really, I kept, honestly, the way in here, so, going almost back to how do you listen for how to improve your products. Students come in here and they bring their programs, and I kept seeing ones that had this IO link in it, and I'm like, all right, what's up with this IO link? It doesn't seem like it can handle as many devices, a lot of things. But then you get looking at, okay, this is a basic M12 connector on a sensor. It looks like a regular sensor. And then all of a sudden, I was looking at Rockwell's catalog, like half of their sensors are IO link enabled, and I'm like, holy crap, I didn't even know any of this.
Oh, that's true.
So then all of a sudden I'm like starting to drop them in and like, oh, I didn't know you could do it. It's like, yeah, I'm like, I'm 3 months into learning about IO-Link, and yeah, I feel like I just found a whole new little thing.
You went down a rabbit hole.
I did go down a rabbit hole.